All right, so 9-6 is using the quadratic formula now. So I'm going to teach you how to do that, but I just want to let you know, if you are watching my video and you want to email me a video of you singing the quadratic formula, I will give you extra credit. And it's only to people who watch this video. So congratulations for doing what you're supposed to be doing. All right, so let's get to it. I rewrote the formula up in the red box, so we have it handy. And the first thing that we're gonna need to do, guys, is figure out what our A, B, C values are so that we can actually plug them in, because that's really what it is. We're looking at a quadratic in standard form again, and we're gonna take these particular values and then plug them into the quadratic formula and then solve. And then we'll have our X values and know where the solutions are. So first thing to do is, what are the A, B, and C values for this particular example? Well, the A value is right here, 4. The B value is that imaginary 1 that we all are so fond of. And the C value is -5. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to substitute each of these 3 values into this equation. So every time I see an A, B, or C, I'm going to actually, instead of writing the variable, I'm going to write the actual value that it is so that we can solve it. So I'll show you what I mean. So instead of -B, that's the first thing, I'm going to write -1 because B is -1. I would also recommend putting your values in parentheses so that you don't get negatives and positives mixed up. That'll be helpful to you. My big square root, now B again is 1 squared minus 4 times A, which is 4, times C, which is -5, and then all over 2 times A, which is 4. So one of the things we can do is just simplify this right away. 2 times 4, that's easy. We'll just change that to an 8. Now we have to simplify what's inside the square root. All right, so I'm going to rewrite this whole thing so we don't get messed up and so you can see what's going on. But instead I'm going to start simplifying some of this. 1 squared, or 1 to the 2nd power, is just 1. Minus 4 times minus 5. All over 8. All right, now I want you guys to think of these 3 numbers when you are calculating what's inside the square root. Think of, just write whatever number is right here, write that, and then take this negative sign. This number, and this number all get multiplied together. All right, so -4, it's like doing -4 times -5. That whole thing all together, and then just write it next to it, and that way you can keep your signs correct, okay? I think the most common mistake when calculating this formula is getting our negatives and positives messed up, and then once we do that, the whole thing is wrong. So anyway, so back to this. So if we do this, -4 times 4 times -5 is positive 80. So I'm going to rewrite this plus or minus 1 plus 80 all over 8. All right, now I can do the 1 plus 80, right? This is 81. And now I can even simplify that further, because hopefully we know what the square root of 81 is, because that is actually a perfect square number, because 9 times 9 is 81. So this value, this whole value, the square root of 81, now becomes 9. Now, once we get to this point, when we have simplified the square root, we've simplified the bottom, this is where we need to take care of that plus or minus, okay, and split the equation again, because we have to recognize that it can either be +9 or -9 to get positive 81. So I'm going to rewrite this over here, -1 plus 9 over 8, and then also -1 minus 9 over 8. All right, so make sure when you get to this point, you need to split and solve both equations, which means that this quadratic has two different solutions. So -1 plus 9 is 8, so we get 8 over 8, or 1. And then this one is -1 minus 9, which is -10 over 8. And we can simplify this to -5 over 4. So what that means is the two solutions, the two areas where this parabola crosses the x-axis is at +1, x equals +1, and -5 over 4. So this is our solution.